What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today's video, I want to talk about why I haven't been investing recently. And I wanted to have like a really open and candid conversation and kind of share what's been going on with my life and my experience. Maybe there's some that's relatable to you, maybe yes, maybe no, but I can't be the only one in this situation right now. And I guess at the end of the day, I would consider myself just an investor at heart. I've been investing since I was like young. You guys know, 10 or 11 years old. I started buying my first stocks and mutual funds at the time, but I've been investing my whole life and it's been primarily stocks. But as I've gotten older and older, and I guess just more into life, like as you age and you buy your home, you got your mortgages, etc., sometimes the priorities do change. And that's kind of where we're at right now. As an investor, as much as I love the stock market, what I think is important is I need to assess all of the opportunities out there and look at where is my money going to get the best return. Like that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. I could be biased towards stocks, I could be biased towards real estate, biased towards whatever the topic is, crypto, da 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 da. But in my opinion, a wise investor, they survey the playing field and they say which is going to make me the best return. And at this given point, obviously, we know how interest rates have gone up, and you guys know my story there with my mortgage on my home. Actually, both my mortgages on my home and then my rental property are both on variable. So, regret that a little bit, or I should say a lot, but you can't go back in time and change that. But my mortgage payments have gone up a ton. And in fact, right now, when I look at my extra or disposable income that I have at the end of the day, I have been choosing to allocate that to paying down my mortgages rather than investing. Now, I could be doing both, and I know a lot of people are, but in my opinion, the way I look at it is like this. My mortgage payments, I think right now are around 7%, give or take. I can go find the exact numbers and pop them up on the screen for you. But in the past year or so, they've essentially doubled. And I do have the option of essentially paying like a minimum amount. So I can essentially pay just interest. My payments could be a lot lower if I chose to. But I've chosen to actually pay above and beyond, what I'm required to pay by the bank, right? I'm not trying to just dance around the trigger rate. I'm actually paying on a normal amortization schedule by my choosing, right? So a lot of people aren't doing this, but I've said, listen, let's increase it so that I can still pay my mortgages down over the 25 or 30 year amortization period. I really don't like the concept of essentially paying rent to the bank, and you look at your amortization period and it's 50 years, 70 years, 100 years, which I did see in my TD account one day, and I was like, oh my god, this is not good. So it was a conscious decision of mine to say, with this money, where do I want to put it? And given where we are in our economy and with interest rates, it has been a priority for me to pay down the mortgage. And when that happens, obviously we don't have unlimited money. We have to use what resources we have and allocate. If we're putting more money here, something has to, give on the other side. And as of recently, in the recent months, it unfortunately has been stocks. In my opinion, that's not a terrible thing. Obviously, again, hindsight looking back, I would have rather been on a fixed rate and paying my little mortgage expenses and then invest in the stock market. But that's just not how things played out. Anywho, given the current circumstances, I've made the decision that it's the more prudent move to take that guaranteed return and allocate more of my funds towards paying down that mortgage. Again, this is a guaranteed return when we do this. I know for a fact I could be paying 7% interest, or I could be paying this down, versus weighing that with a potential good return in the stock market. In my opinion, the stock market has been a bit funky recently, and obviously I'm not a doom and gloom guy, but you guys know that. But a realistic question we have to ask is, well, like, where's the opportunity? How much could we expect to see from the stock market? I always look back to this period after the tech crash, and the NASDAQ is a really, really interesting example of this, where after the big bubble collapse of the early 2000s, it was a long, drawn-out period. Before, of course, the NASDAQ reached new all-time highs. I think it was something like 17 years or something in that range. Obviously, I'm not saying I'm going to wait till we reach all-time highs to go in and invest. That's not the strategy. The point is to buy on the way down. But the point is that these drawdowns and these periods, they can last significantly long periods. And do the prospects look super attractive to me? I would argue possibly not. which then leads me towards more of the guaranteed return of paying that mortgage down. Now, to be clear, I am investing still a little bit. So I'm still investing in my daughter's RESP. That's something that we have automated. We're putting a little bit of money there every single month. That's just something that I'm like okay with doing. But more or less, that's just kind of like the top-down decision. Secondarily as well, one thing that I think is more unique to my situation, and again, that's all I can share with you guys, is like, what I'm doing with my money. Because I run my own business here and because I have staff, Darwin's behind the camera here, like we have an operation going, there is an aspect of, there's a question that I pose too, is if I earn an extra $1,000 or an extra $5,000 or whatever it is, I can invest that in the markets and get X return, or if I can reinvest that into my own business. Maybe that's hiring new staff, maybe that's putting that into a new project, or just deploying that into my own asset, right? My business, which really, I mean, that's all stocks are at the end of the day. We're buying other people's businesses. If I go buy Coca-Cola or Walmart or McDonald's, they're out making money for me. Well, we have a business here too. And I do find that if I were to reinvest that within my own business, the return, the opportunity for return is actually significantly higher than, let's say, taking an index fund return of at a 7 or 8% over the long term. Now, there's a lot more variability. Who knows how things will play out, but just at the given time, that's also a second consideration where I have been, where I can and have been allocating my money. For those of you that have been following, I recently got, more formalized with the Blossom social app, and I'm so thankful that I'm now officially a late co-founder. So if you guys weren't familiar with that, you go check out LinkedIn. That's been all over the place. I haven't really mentioned it here on YouTube, but I've been pretty heads down there working on all types of stuff, and the app is growing over 50,000 users, which you guys have seen the inception. Like when we first mentioned Blossom, I think there was 250 or 500 users in beta, and in just a year short time, already 50,000, and moving in the right direction. So I'm super excited to be working on that project, but that's really where my head's been at. And I think really the moral of this story and lesson is, just to like share with you guys why I haven't been posting as much stock content, why I haven't been, making as many videos. I've been very heads down working and kind of grinding away, but as well, I just personally haven't been buying as much stocks recently. And I hope that this is a good explanation video. You can share with me down below what you guys think about this. Is it a wise move? Are you in a similar situation? At the end of the day, the lesson that I kind of want to take with you for this video is, if you are truly an investor at heart, don't have a bias to any one type of investment. Survey the playing field and say which is going to make me the best return, and not always the best return in terms of numbers, but what is just the right return. Because paying down the mortgage, I mean, yeah, I'm paying 7% here. I can get rid of that, but it's guaranteed. Stocks may provide me more. In fact, the opportunity is significantly more, but just given the current landscape, that is uncertain. It's uncertain over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, what that will give us. And again, not trying to paint a doom and gloom picture, but just given the way our interest rates are, that's the decision that I've made. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. You can let me know down in the comment section below if you guys are in a similar boat, if you were able to avoid this by maybe foreseeing things better than I had, or what you're currently doing. I know that there, is talk of recession. We've been talking about it for feels like a year now. It goes without saying, we've all seen the prices in the grocery stores. We've seen the inflation. We know how expensive it is to live, especially if you're living in a big city like Toronto or Vancouver. We have conversations like this amongst our peers all the time, just how like ridiculously hard it is to live. For anybody, no matter what your income level is, unless you're like way, way at the top. But that pressure, I think it's there. And if you're willing to share, feel free to comment down below where you're at. But yeah, that's just a quick video. Wanted to check in because I know it's been a while. Still going to be posting so much more, you guys. But I have been very heads down for the past little while. So I appreciate the patience. I know Mark's been crushing it with the news, and I hope you guys are enjoying that. So if you enjoy, give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, let me know what your thoughts are. And as always, I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.